In today's headlines, Cần Thơ City People's Committee solemnly held the launch of the Tree Growing Festival in remembrance of alcohol. Fares in Cần Thơ City are back on the normal price on interprovincial and inner routes. Cần Thơ City General Hospital received treatment for in and out patients suffering diseases other than COVID-19 as of February 9, 2022. Hello, and it's good to see you back here in this edition of Continuous and Top News today. On February 10th morning, at Home King's Temple, Cần Thơ City's People's Committee solemnly held the launch of the Tree Growing Festival in remembrance of alcohol. Present at the function were Party Central Member Secretary of Cần Thơ City Party Committee, Head of Cần Thơ City's National Assembly Delegation Lê Quang Mạnh, State and Vice Secretary of Cần Thơ City Party Committee, come Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Council Phạm Văn Hiểu, Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Committee Trần Việt Trường, and members of the Permanent Board, leaders of department centers, urban and suburban districts. At the launch, leaders of the Municipal Party Committee and People's Council, People's Committee, Vietnam Fatherland French Committee, and department centers respectfully paid incense tribute to the ancestors' altar to commemorate and pay honor to merits of ancestors and home kings for their contribution to building and safeguarding the nation. In a solemn atmosphere, all leaders, civil and public servants, and people of Cần Thơ City promised to train, promote their brand power, and excellently complete assigned tasks, exercise targets, and resolutions of all level party congresses. After the ritual of paying incense tribute, the participants attended the launch of the tree planting festival in remembrance of alcohol at the campus of Home King's Temple. In a happy atmosphere of the first days of the new year, the city's leaders emphasized the meanings and benefits of tree planting. In the past years, in response to the call of alcohol, Cần Thơ City has actively joined in planting trees to contribute to making the environment brighter, greener, cleaner, and more beautiful. The leader stated that this year's tree planting festival is within the program of responding to the project of planting 1 billion green trees in the 2021-2025 phase launched by the government. Under the program, Cần Thơ City has enacted the plan of growing over 6.8 million green trees in the city. In 2021 alone, nearly 867,000 trees and additional 1.4 million trees have been and will be built in 2022. Also on February 10th morning, Party Central Member Secretary of Cần Thơ City Party Committee, Head of Cần Thơ City's National Assembly Delegation Lê Quang Mạnh, had a working session with the Agriculture and Rural Development Department on the agricultural production situation and some major tasks in 2022. Also attending the working session were permanent members, State and Vice Chairman of the Municipal People's Council Nguyễn Ngọc Hè, and leaders of Party Building Board. According to the Agriculture and Rural Development Department, in 2021, the city's agricultural sector encountered many difficulties due to the complicated COVID-19 epidemic. However, the city's agricultural sector effectively carried out solutions to develop products while containing the epidemic. Resultantly, the agricultural production continued growing in a fairly comprehensive manner. Farming and cultivating productivity got fair results. GDP growth speed of the agricultural sector kept its positive growth at 1.12%. Delegates agree that the agriculture and rural development sector made efforts to well fulfill its tasks and contribute to the city's common development in the past time. However, apart from results recorded by the sector, there were certain drawbacks. Regarding major tasks for the coming time, the city's agriculture and rural development sector will finish making the general plan of the agricultural sector in conjunction with the city's integrated planning, actively combined with relevant bodies to give advice on the project of connecting, producing, processing, and consuming agricultural products of Meconento in Cần Thơ City, in line with the spirit of the National Assembly resolution on testing some special mechanisms and policies for developing Cần Thơ City. Give advice to the city's People's Committee to build up a plan and effectively organize and implement the program number 28 dated December 31st, 2021 of the Municipal Party Committee on giving support for agricultural farmers rural areas of Cần Thơ City in 2020-2025 phase. In 2 days, February 9th and 10th, the War Veterans Association of Khánh Commune Phong Suburban District organized the 7th Delegates Congress 2022-2027 term. This is chosen to be the test unit by the Standing Board of Cần Thơ City's War Veterans Association. In the last term, carrying out resolutions of the party and the executive board of War Veterans Associations at all levels, cadres and members of Khánh Commune's War Veterans Association united and promoted the active and creative traditions of alcohol soldiers, exerted efforts to overcome difficulties and carry out and complete targets of the sixth term resolution with focus on actively taking part in building, protecting the party, authority, socialism, and the national unity. 8 out of 8 sub-associations have no poor and near-poor households left. On February 10th, in practical response to the Red Spring Festival 2022, Phong Điền Suburban District Steering Board for Voluntary Blood Donation and Cần Thơ City's Home Authority and Blood Transfusion Hospital jointly held the voluntary blood reception phase in 2 communes of Trường Long and Nhân Ái. To achieve a set plan, sectors at all levels, especially Red Cross societies in Phong Điền Suburban District, accelerated propaganda in classes of people right from the early year of 2022. After screening, the organizing board received 171 units of blood, which contributes to supplementing the stocks of blood to the city's blood bank, with them to give timely emergency and treatment for medical units after that holidays 2022. As of now, Phong Điền Suburban District Steering Board for Voluntary Blood Donation have jointly organized 2 voluntary blood donation phases and received 303 units of blood, representing nearly 20% of the target in 2022. Also on February 10th, carrying out the instruction of the Industry and Trade Ministry and Cần Thơ City's People's Committee, Cần Thơ City's Inter-Sector Petroleum Inspection Group, including representatives of the Industry and Trade Department and the Order Management Department, the Economic Police Chamber under Cần Thơ City's Public Security, had a fact-finding trip on the trading of petroleum in Vĩnh Thạnh, Cờ Đỏ, Thới Lai, Thốt Nốt, Ô Môn, Bình Thủy, and Ninh Kiều districts. According to initial statistics, there are more than 300 petroleum distributors, agents, and retail sales stations across the city. Results of the fact-finding trip in Thốt Nốt Urban District show that some petroleum stations have closed their business. Leaders of the city's Industry and Trade Department clearly said that, as instructed by the Industry and Trade Ministry, the city's People's Committee will not accept any cases that close their petroleum business with the reason of no petroleum left. Any violating cases will be proposed to revoke business license and treated as stipulated. Committee sectors will also revoke the business license of stations that intentionally bladed the storage of petroleum to stop selling petroleum to wait for price increase. 2 weeks after applying the 40% increase in fares from February 10th, fares in Cần Thơ City are back on the same price on inter-provincial and inner routes. Cần Thơ City's Transport Department has announced the decision to transport businesses, co-ops operating at stations in the city to pause again fare levels while boosting inspections on the international increase in fare levels. During the 2 peak weeks, transport units in Cần Thơ City transported nearly 10,000 passengers, down by 30% against the same period last year. There were no illegal transport cases. As of February 9, 2022, Cần Thơ City's General Hospital received treatment for in- and out patients suffering diseases other than COVID-19 after a long time of focusing its whole force on treating COVID-19 infected patients. At present, the COVID-19 treatment zone of the hospital has been put into operation to give examination and treatment to serve people's healthcare tasks. At the same time, students and trainees are allowed to resume their practice at the hospital. Besides, the hospital is also in charge of vaccinating against COVID-19 for people who have not fully been infected. Now, as usual, before moving to the close, let's take a quick look at the updated weather forecast. updated weather forecast also wrapped up this edition of Continues. If you want to watch again in this bulletin, please visit our website, kenththtv.vn. And now thanks for being with us. Goodbye and see you next time.